Good evening, everybody. So for this week's poem, I'm doing something a little bit out of the ordinary, but it's for good reason. As Saturday, March 21st is World Poetry Day, as it has been since with UNESCO recognition since 1999. And as I did last year, I'm gonna read a poem that I did not write, but one that caught my eye, and one that takes me back to the halcyon days of last November. The poem is Ciudad del Paradiso, City of Paradise, and the author is Vicente Alexandre. You're gonna hear this poem twice in this video. The first is, since Vicente Alexandre, the poet, he was born in Seville but lived in Malaga. He wrote this poem originally in Spanish. So I'm gonna first read it in Spanish. Please bear with me. I've never done this before, and I do apologize in advance for how this is gonna come out, but it's how I figure to try to do him justice. The poem goes something like this: A mi ciudad de Málaga, siempre te ven mis ojos, ciudad de mis días marinos, colgada imponente monte, apenas detenida en tu vertical calda a las ondas azules. Pareces reinar bajo el cielo sobre las aguas, intermedia en los aires, como si una mano dichosa te hubiera retenido un momento de gloria, antes hundirte para siempre los olas amantes. Pero tú duras, nunca desciendes, y el mar suspira o brama por ti, ciudad de mis días alegres, ciudad madre blanquísima donde viví y recuerdo, angélica ciudad que, más alta que el mar, reside sus espumas. Calles apenas leves, musicales, jardines donde flores tropicales elevan sus juveniles palmas gruesas, palmas de luz que sobre las cabezas aladas, merced del brillo de la brisa, y suspenden por un instante labios celestiales que cruzan con destino a las islas remontísimas mágicas que allá el azul índigo libertadas navegan. Ahí también viví, ahí ciudad graciosa, ciudad honda, ahí donde los jóvenes resbalan sobre la piedra amable y donde los rutilantes paredes besan siempre a quienes siempre cruzan servidores en brillos. Ahí fue conducido por una mano materna. ¿Acaso de una reja florida una guitarra triste cantaba la súbita canción? suspendida en el tiempo. Quieta la noche y más quieto el amante, bajo la luna eterna que instante tenía transcurre. Un soplo de eternidad pudo destruirte, ciudad prodigiosa, momento que en la mente de un dios emergiste. Los hombres, pero un sueño no vivieron, eternamente fugidos como un soplo divino. Jardines, flores, mal alentado como un brazo que angela a la ciudad voladora entre monte y abismo, blanca en los aires, con calidad de pájaro suspenso, que nunca arriba, o ciudad no en la tierra. Por aquella mano materna fui levado ligero por tus calles ennevadas, pie desnudo en el día, pies desnudo en la noche, luna grande, sol puro. Ahí cielo eras tú, ciudad que en él morabas, ciudad que volabas con tus alas abiertas. I am so sorry I'm so sorry you guys had to hear that. For the fact that, I've never read in Spanish before on camera, let alone reading a poem. So I profusely apologize for how atrocious that my reading of the original version of this poem sounds. So right now I'm gonna just bear with me a sec. So right now I pulled up the English translation of this poem. Hopefully my reading for this will go better than the Spanish. City of paradise, to my city Malaga, my eyes always see you, city of my marine days, hanging from the towering mountain, barely stopped. In your vertical fall into the blue waves, you seem to reign beneath the sky, above the waters. Light streets, musical, barely there. Gardens where tropical flowers raise their youthful thick palms. And I was led there by a mother's hand. A puff of eternity could have destroyed you. A wondrous city, emerging in the mind of a god. There the sky was you, city dwelling in the air, city flying within it, your wings outstretched. So yes, this poem was Vicente's homage to his childhood that he spent living in Malaga, even though he was born in Seville. And you probably might be wondering why I picked this poem. There is a specific memory attached to this piece. We have to go back to last November, Monday, November 17th, to be exact. It was just after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Our group's bus arrived in Malaga after 2 o'clock. but we still had a few hours to kill before we could check into the hotel. So we were able to explore the city on our own, and we all met up at the cathedral to finish the walking tour, which took us by a Roman amphitheater. And along the way back to the bus, I came across a wood carving. And what was that wood carving? The entire City of Paradise poem in Spanish. I took a photograph of the carving, and as I was trying to decide which poem to read for World Poetry Day, the memories of Malaga in that particular moment came back to me. It wasn't a difficult choice to make, and given Vicente's vivid imagery of Malaga, it reaffirmed what I had already experienced, which walking through the streets, even when it torrentially downpoured on us, palm trees, the sea, the architecture, it's like it reaffirmed my decision to extend the Spain trip beyond Seville, because I had heard about Malaga, many good things about it. It felt right that it was the only city on the itinerary during the trip that I did not previously set foot in, other than Antequera. And as one would imagine, by the time the trip ended 2 days later, on Wednesday the 19th, I did not want to leave. I felt like I was just starting to get to know Malaga in the short time that we were there. And every time I see the photo of Vicente's poem and read the words, whether it be English or Spanish, it takes me back there. I'm soaking up the sun in late November, and for at least a brief moment in time, none of the difficulties at home or all the chaos of the outside world mattered. I felt like I was in my bliss, being by the sea. Hell, I was in my bliss the entire 12 days I was in Spain. And poems like Vicente's take me back. And I hope to be back before this decade of my life concludes. Well, everyone, that's it for this week's video. Hope everyone has a wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you guys again next week. Good night, everybody.